Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Quite possibly one of the most dangerous things you can do as a WNBA player, and actually, let's face it, probably as someone that covers the WNBA in the media, is praise Caitlin Clark. It is probably as dangerous as someone in Hollywood coming out and praising Donald Trump, right? There are dangerous things for your career. So we have a player here who may very well have to go into hiding. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Can't believe we're halfway through the second week, well, just about, of 2026. Shout out to the 19. So, as you all know, you all remember, last month we had a national team camp for Team USA women's basketball. They've got the World Cup next September, camp down in Duke, and for the first time we got a real mix with this team, right? We all know it's been a whole bunch of the same players for a long time, a lot of vets. It was a very old team this past Olympics, and now we had a lot of young players who are attending their very first senior team camp. They may be players that have had a lot of experience with Team USA and even in winning gold medals, but it's the first time for the senior camp. Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Sonia Citron, and so forth, along with vets like Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young. I believe Jackie Young was there. Asia Wilson, etc. And so this seems like a left turn, but I'm gonna bring it all back. For the past couple of years, we all know after that amazing career at Iowa, Caitlin Clark enters the WNBA, and we have seen some, shall we say, creative coverage of Caitlin Clark. Right? I mean, that's pretty accurate, wouldn't you say? Whether it's old guard WNBA fans who, all what, nine of them, 10 of them, whatever it might be, WNBA media, WNBA players. I mean, you all know the drill by now. Every time Caitlin Clark, there was something they needed to talk about with Caitlin Clark. She did something amazing, or it was the ratings for the games. It was always Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Sometimes they would switch it up, right? They'd think they were fooling you, and they say, "Oh, it's Caitlin Clark and the rookie class." You know what I'm saying, right? Heaven forbid anyone just say Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark did this. Caitlin Clark is getting ratings that no one else has ever gotten in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is doing things on the court and smashing records and doing things that no one else has ever done in the WNBA. They can't just say Caitlin Clark is the best thing to happen to women's basketball since sliced bread. If you can explain that to me, please do so in the comments. It's used all the time, but I'm not sure exactly what impact sliced bread ever had on the WNBA, but that's a topic for another day. I digress. And look, don't get me started. Y'all know. Y'all know, don't get me started on certain Hall of Famers. Oh, swoops, who are out here rewriting history constantly about our college records, right? I'm like, just not misspeaking. We all know it wasn't misspeaking. It was absolutely wild, wild stuff. It has been wild times since Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA. But check this out. Wow, I just almost knocked over my entire setup. Chelsea Gray. Yes, Chelsea Gray, the 2024 Olympic gold medalist. Has got, I don't know, a lot of championship rings. She got asked about the young players at camp. And look, y'all know I will give praise to anyone I think deserves it. I will criticize anyone I think deserves it, regardless of what I might feel about them. I will praise Angel Reese if it's deserved. I'll criticize her, whatever. So you know what? We are going to praise Chelsea Gray here, and it's wild because I got to tell you, like this setup I'm doing. I got to admit that the way this question was asked, it kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, wow, really? You're going to say it like that?
For it. Speaking of that young talent, besides some terminology and some slang and swag, like what else do you think they can teach you?
they can add to my bag. Honestly, there's some new things. Paige did a little like in and out and like hook layup in practice, and I was like, I'm gonna try that and I'm gonna add that to the bag. We talk about Caitlin's range and being able to do that off the dribble, so I want to get better off the dribble. So those are the few things. Sonia was there, Citron was there, and her ability to create space off of the pull up is really cool. So there's little tidbits you can always get from somebody's game, no matter what age they are.
I love that.
All praise, Chelsea Gray, well deserved. Like I said, right on my little like that the way the question was asked was a little like, hey, whoa, what's going on? But in all seriousness, all praise Chelsea Gray for a couple reasons. One, we all know there are a lot of people that would have not have reacted well to the way the question was asked, right? And she could have easily not even mentioned Caitlin Clark, or with any of them, she could have just mentioned a name, right? But here we go, a veteran superstar. And we all look, that is what we can say whatever we want about the level of the WNBA and this and that, because I don't want you to think I'm being hypocritical. But within the WNBA, yeah, you can call Chelsea Gray a veteran superstar with what she's accomplished. But she just did, she just said, yeah, there's moves she can steal from Caitlin Clark. And yes, she mentioned Paige Beckers. And yes, she mentioned Sonia Citron. But it wasn't that we're all equal here. She didn't get nasty. She didn't mention Paige and Sonia, absolute Citron, without mentioning Caitlin Clark. It was, hey, this kids have something I don't have. They have something I've seen in their game that can make my game better, and I respect that, and I'm going to learn from that. And by the way, that is how you have long careers like Chelsea Gray. You should constantly be evolving your game and picking things from other players. All players are different. All players find a certain way to do a certain thing that allows them to excel. And great players are going to steal a little bit from here, steal a little bit from there. And in a league where people have treated Caitlin as just awful, right? They've treated Caitlin like she has personally stolen their lunch money. Although probably not Asia Wilson's because, private school. Anyway, but Chelsea Gray just, I mean, in her own way, she just gave her flowers that we haven't seen players in WNBA give to Caitlin Clark. It's honestly everything about this just seemed I honestly felt like I was watching a well-respected, egoless, as much as we can be, right? NBA superstar answering this. I mean, this was normal. This was classy. It's probably one of the classiest things I've seen from a WNBA player when talking about Caitlin Clark, and not even being asked specifically about Caitlin Clark. Brought her up on her own, and there was no backhanded compliment. No, but she needs to work on her defense type of thing, right? There was no asterisk to this. There was just straight up, hey, this is something Caitlin Clark does well, and I can add that to my game to make me a better player. And let's be real about it. Come on now, if Chelsea Gray's out here trying to add Caitlin's, off the dribble pull ups to her game, I don't know. Maybe it's time for all the haters in the league to retire the jealousy playlist and just admit that she's special and just get on with playing the games. This is what all the wild old guard WNBA fans always talking about the toxicity. They are the toxicity, and the players are the toxicity, and this is what normal looks like. Now, it doesn't mean, you get on the court, your competitors, you talk trash. I get all that. That's part of the deal. It's part of the fandom. But I know this seems like a simple thing. You're probably like, why are you doing a video on this? You may have clicked away already, but I wanted to talk about this because this to me was so refreshing after what we've seen from the WNBA. This is what the WNBA could look like when we celebrate the talent instead of tearing it down because, she's more popular, she's this, she's that. The future of this league could be bright. There are a lot of young players coming into this league, bringing things that the league has never had, both on the court and off, because of the way NIL has changed the game at the college level. Got young players that are hungry. And if you've got vets like Chelsea Gray finally just being humble and saying, hey, I can learn. It doesn't matter, like she said at the end, it doesn't matter that this player was just a rookie. It doesn't matter that this player's just in their second year. If they do something well that I don't do, that I can learn from, that I can pick up, I'm going to do that. That's how you grow the league. Because not only do you get fans who say, hey, you know what? Chelsea Gray is not so bad. I can root for Chelsea Gray, right? That's the off court stuff that helps. But then that's also adding to the product on the court, improving the product on the court. It's a win-win, as they say. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I just realized I didn't have the camera on for this one, which I was gonna do because there's not much movement. So you might actually be seeing Caitlin Clark highlights if you're wondering why that ended up on here. But anyway, let me know your comments, your thoughts, your comments. Let me know your comments and the thoughts below. That would throw you, huh? But you can also let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is this narrative finally shifting if they even play this year? Anyway, let me know. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.